Oh, I have to update you guys. So the Monday game last night,
Uh-huh.
we actually had hot PvP action.
Hot what?
PvP, player versus player. And
Oh.
normally,
Oh.
normally I don't allow that in my games
You
because
eschew
Yeah.
that?
the game is not at all balanced for that kind of action. It wasn't built for that kind of thing, and it usually leads to bad feelings. Now, the group where it happened, those people have been together for 8 years now in my
Yeah.
games. So I figured, okay, so and it was completely story driven. It wasn't just somebody getting cheesed off of somebody else. There was literally things going on that involved NPCs and pressure mounting on the PCs. It was actually kind of a perfect storm. And so at the end of the previous play session for them before last night's game, one of them stabbed the other one with a
Oof.
sword and for almost 50 points of damage, and that's where we ended it. Then
Oh
we
shit.
started it back up with them fighting, and
So they had chances to make amends.
well, there wasn't really a way to make amends. They had the route they'd gone with their characters. Things had progressed too far, really, for that for them to come back and find a middle ground. And like I said, there was a lot of outside pressure as well, and so one of them killed the other one because the other one said, "I'm not even fighting on this. If he wants to kill me, he can just kill me." But I made him roll to hit, and he rolled a 24. It was a pretty good hit, and so I was like, "All right, so you're sure about this? You're pulling an Obi-Wan, and you're just like, this is it. If you strike me down
I'll
now,
become more powerful.
yeah, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera." And he was like,
Oof.
"Yeah, I'm good with it." And so it came or gave us a good opportunity. The cleric was actually able to go over and cast Raise Dead, and it took an hour. But as she finished the spell, these dark demonic hands erupted out of the ground to start dragging him down to hell, or so they thought.
Ah.
But really, what happened was because he was alive, his death triggered something, but the thing that the events that were triggered didn't care if he was alive or dead.
Mm.
So he had to go and face judgment while he was alive instead of a dead spirit. And so Amara, the goddess of compassion, gave him a final chance. And with his final chance, he was, he was still flippant and recalcitrant and, yeah, fuck you all. And so she was like, okay, I tried, I did my best. You get to wander the earth now alone forever as a spirit. And then boom, she was like, peace, bitches. It was
Oh,
crazy.
Wow.
I
I
know,
would like
right?
to point out that um, our group has done some PvP as well.
That's correct. That's correct. And it also led to a death.
Yes, it did. Actually, I'd like to point out that our group did some PvP last session.
I learned from the best.
I believe Hagar might have missed it, but I was beset by electricity and
Torka didn't miss
thunder
it.
and lightning.
Torka felt it all the way down in his cloaca.
Yes. I was
Uh,
sure that it was the monstrous bones. However, Torka's starting to rethink that.
The monstrous bones.
Mhm.
Good shot, Torin.
Good shot, Bones. Yeah.
All right.
with
So
yeah, oh, yeah,
now
yeah,
that now that the game has started,
yep.
who would like to give our recap from last time?
I guess I can try, on that. I did it last go, but I can do it again.
Okay.
Again. Let's see. So we had woken up to the sound and visage of these bones coming out of the ground and then start becoming a swirling mass, or swirling masses.
Yeah.
And uh, uh, I had Soren had cast fly on his cohorts and said, "Hey, let's fly out of here." And he flew up, and then one of the uh, swarms of bones flew up and chased after him. So we weren't going to be able to fly out of this thing. And uh, then combat pretty much started, and we quickly found out that bone swarms can affect more than one character at a time, and so we ended up having to spread out and try to take these swarms one per swarm. And Soren had taken had one follow him and was fighting his, and uh, uh, Cole did the same. Loomis, also split off, and Torka split off as well. And the uh, uh, we started to have to try to take these on one, but I was able to find that they are susceptible to fire and lightning, and that's when
Well,
Cole.
no more so than normal. It's just
No more. So
fire and
they're not
lightning happened to hurt them.
exactly, which is
Yeah, and they're
unlike right.
resistant to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but they're not resistant to these two things,
It's not
and
their
which
kryptonite.
is
They just
yeah, that's true, and which is surprising because so many other things I've faced has been resistant to both of them, and so I didn't have to try to convert things to thunder damage or something like that. So what was it? So I start striking more than one thing at a time this way, and then Cole does the thing and does prismatic spray and strikes three of them at once, but hits Torka in the back with was it 66 of lightning? Is that what it was, or
something like that.
10d6?
Might have been 33.
Yeah, it was pretty.
33.
Yeah, I don't think it was 66. I think it was probably somewhere
Uh,
down around 30.
yeah,
Allegedly, Cole.
alleged. Oh yeah, yeah. And so, all right, all right. Everybody saw it, but Torka. Now, what's funny is Target gets hit in the back with it while fighting, um, and the only person is slinging lightning bolts, of course, is Soren, because he's like going, if I line these guys up, then I can, hit them without hitting any of my colleagues, and so my dear friends, and so we took one down, and the other three are, well, at least one around Loomis, I think, is looking really bad. The one towards me is uh, not doing so great, but stronger than the one around Loomis. And then the one that Torka is fighting is, I think, the freshest one. Uh,
Everyone, for I'm going to butt in here for a minute. Everyone, say hello to Calvin
Howdy, Calvin.
in
Hey, Calvin.
Twitch chat.
Hi, Calvin.
Hey, Calvin.
And let's see. It was noticed by a number uh, of our party. I can't remember how many. I know Cole was one, maybe Torka was another. That the bones included um, bones of dragons. So that was noted,
Or dragon-like
and
beings.
or dragon-like beings. So that can possibly include wyverns. Um, the bodies of the soldiers that we had dispatched
Families of
earlier
Dragonborn.
Dispatched is a good
have
way of saying murdered.
no
No, I like dispatched.
defend ourselves against. Anyways, the only person murdered, was that poor driver that was trying to take us to Crossington.
Lucky
And
dog.
Lucky Don, whose body we have preserved in a bag of holding to take to his family. But these bodies these bodies seem to have had the bones of them, come out of their flesh, and so that's the state of their bodies. That was not how we left them when we killed them killed them the night before or the day before. Well,
We
no,
could
because it was the
call
night
him
before.
Lucky D.
Yeah, and so I think that is where we are.
That is indeed where we are, and when we left off, we had finished Soren's turn, and it was Loomis that was up next.
All right. I will attack. Here, I gotta open my character sheet though.
Oh, while he's doing that, everybody was trying to pull a Chris Head except for Chris Head, last game.
I don't even know what that could mean so many different things.
Probably
Yeah,
means
I
all
don't
of
remember it that way.
He will
Probably
bring
means
in
all of them.
Great axe.
That sounds like a Chris had move to try to remember it that way.
26
Mhm.
It
hits.
sounds more like a Chris Head move by you saying I don't remember.
Whoa. The only people that ought to be talking right now is me and Loomis. It's Loomis's turn. We
Oh, yeah,
started
there you go.
combat. Loomis, a 26 hits for 18 points of slashing damage. That is enough to kill this thing. It only had 1 hit point left.
Woohoo, Loomis.
Nice.
So what would you like to
Okay.
do next?
I will. Let me see. When I, obviously, because I wasn't here, when I look at Soren or Torka, who seems hurt the most? I know. Torka took some
Between
damage.
Soren and Torka, probably Soren.
Okay, then I'll move that way.
Can I interject something?
Sure.
Torka probably looks the most hurt because of the betrayal he has undergone.
Although
Okay.
literally, figuratively, yeah, sure, Torka. But literally, Soren followed by Cole and then Torka.
Let's see here.
All right, what is it you want to do?
This side right here. I don't know if that gives him advantage.
Does not give him advantage at all. For you to have advantage, you'd have
Need
to have
be, like,
somebody
here.
straight
right there.
through. Yeah, you'd have to have Soren right here. But these things are also, as you see by the wing indicator on the token, 20 feet up in the air currently.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'd like to shoot it with my crossbow one time.
How many attacks do you have total?
3, I believe.
Then you can make 2 attacks. You're not limited by the loading property of the crossbow. Remember,
Yeah.
you've got the heavy crossbow feat, or the crossbow expert feat, I should say. You can take your other 2 attacks at this thing
Yes.
to finish out your turn. You can just use them with the crossbow.
Let me see. Crossbow.
20 hits,
Okay. And then.
29 hits. When I say it hits, go ahead and roll the damage for it.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, so a total of 10 points of damage with the crossbow.
And then on my turn.
All right, that'll end your turn. Next up is our friends, the Bone Swarms. I don't know why this one has a ninja on it.
He was maybe incapacitated is not the right word, but he was affected by something Cole
Oh,
did.
by
He-
the hideous laughter.
hideous laughter. Yeah.
Yeah, we decided
So-
that they're immune to prone. They're also immune to charm, but I think the ruling I gave last time was I was fine with him being incapacitated, but he was not prone.
Okay.
So, he will get another chance to break that at the end of his turn. That means this one is the only one that can currently do anything. This one will move down towards Soren. And now it is only, let's see, 5 feet off the ground. Swarming all around you, Soren. Just a cloud of bones. Biting at you, scratching at you. And it is going to use its swirling bone attack. A 23.
I will cast shield.
All right, that brings your armor class up to a 24. Mark it off of your spell slots.
Right on it.
And you do not take damage.
Cool.
All right, next up is the other bone swarm, which is going to try to break out of the hideous laughter. Spell save DC 19 because fuck bards. 24. It is no longer affected by Tasha's hideous laughter. Good news, Cole. You are now free to concentrate on other spells.
Okay.
All right, that brings us next to Torka Galu. Torka,
All right.
you have been slamming at these things. You've taken some hits, but not really that many. How are you feeling overall in this fight?
Repulsed that the dead is animated,
Yeah.
but I feel okay.
All right. As a freebie, give me a religion check. Oof. Everything's fine.
Okay. Yeah, for such a pious man, I have no bonuses in my religion. Okay. Torka is going to swing at the bones that he is in combat with. 27 hits.
27 does hit for 13 points of damage.
I'm checking my spell slots. I guess Torka's going to pump a level 3 smite into that
Okay.
for 20 more plus a d8 for 27 more. So 40 points of damage.
All right.
And then Torka will swing again with his vicious warpick.
20 hits for another 12 points of damage.
Another 12. Yeah. That will end Torka's turn.
All right.
Can Torka ascertain if the dragon-like bones are small? Are there some in there that are smaller?
You've been up close to this thing enough to know that no, these look like large creatures.
Okay. Torka was a little concerned that there might be dragonborn bones mixed in.
No, these don't seem like humanoid draconic bones. These definitely look like some kind of large draconic creature.
Okay. Okay. That ends Torka's turn.
All right, next up is Cole. Cole, give me a freebie perception check.
Okay.
Cole,
16.
you have started to notice that this group of bones right here and this group of bones right here are starting to, looks like they're trying to start moving close to one another.
Uh-oh.
like they're beginning to crawl towards one another across the ground.
Hmm. Okay.
If you would like, you can attempt a skill check to figure out what might be the best way to stop something like that.
Huh. Well, I was gonna see how I could set fire to them, but the skills check is tempting to actually learn something. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right, give me an Arcana check.
Not great at it,
25. You typically don't roll low.
but-
I've noticed.
I rolled an 18 that time.
So with a 25 of Arcana, you would think that these bones may be trying to take whatever's left of the two swarms and fuse them into a new swarm. And you would think that some kind of divine radiant magic might be able to stop something like that. If only you knew a paladin or a priest or something like that.
Okay.
Well, Soren
With-
feels holier than thou.
It is not Soren's turn.
Okay. So with my newfound knowledge, I'm gonna call out to Torka, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, Torka, these bones, these two piles of dead bones, are starting to move toward each other, like they're gonna form up again. You got any kind of powers that could put them to rest for good?" And then I'll continue with inspiring words for Torka, saying, I know you could do it, and you know, you're really good at standing down the undead.
You're
like
good at
these
stuff.
guys. Yeah, I think you could do it.
All right.
And so that was
Torka,
a
out
little
of
bit lame, but it's worth a D12 if my DM doesn't shoot me down for that poor attempt
I mean,
at inspiration.
you are playing a bard, and there. I feel like when you take on the responsibility of a bard, there's an unwritten social contract that you're going to bring your A game each and every session.
We
Do you feel like you
I
brought your
can.
A game?
Yeah, well, I can't just say like, and my character does that inspiring stuff that my character does. No, I agree. It's not that was not a game material. I will be studying that.
Oh no,
for my
I've
next
never
turn.
been so inspired.
Oh, good.
All right.
That's what I was going for.
Does that end your turn, Cole?
I'll work on like a lame paladin joke for my next inspiration. Yeah, do I need to move anywhere?
Make sure that it's the end of your turn. Don't say, yes, that ends my turn, and then as soon as I move on, you're like, oh, wait.
Okay. I haven't said that yet this turn, right?
No, you haven't done that so far.
Okay. I'm gonna move in between the bones.
Okay.
Just feeling like I need to do something, and also I'll be motioning Torka to come over and help. And I've used my action and my bonus action, so I end my turn.
All right. Next up, we're at the start of round 6. Soren, you are up.
All right. Soren will get right here. And let's see. Just take a look at lining this up. Okay. All right. I will cast lightning bolt and I will. What is it? I will. Oh shoot! I can't remember what it's called right now. I'm forgetting what quicken it. Yeah.
Soren, you know,
quicken
when you
lightning
become a
bolt.
sorcerer, there's an unwritten
Yeah.
social contract that, you know, every session you're going to know what the hell you're doing.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna quicken lightning bolt, and I'm going to cast it on. And then let's see. I'll go ahead and roll it, and let's see. There we go.
All right.
All right.
DC 19 dex save. We'll do the one closest to you first. Makes it, and then the one out by Torka also makes it. They take 13 lightning damage.
And I'm assuming this one that's right here, even though he's 5 feet above me because I'm on ground level, I can reach it with shocking grasp.
You assume correctly. 5 feet would be within your melee range.
Cool. And I will hit him with shocking grasp.
29 hits for 18 points of damage.
And now I will move. Shoot. I'm gonna move over 5, 10, 15, and let's see. Actually, I'll go right there, and I'll shout out to Loomis. Loomis, let's take this thing out together. And there we go. That'll be my turn.
All right. Next up is Loomis.
Loomis says, "Okay, let's do it." I don't know if he's.
That yeah. There you go.
Is that within melee?
You are within melee range of it. It is 5 feet
Okay.
up in the air, but your pole arm has a 10-foot reach.
Okay. I will attack with that. Here's the first one. Oops, wrong button. Why is nothing happening?
Give it a minute.
Well, there it goes.
So that is a
Something
crit.
happened.
Yeah, something happened. That is a crit. So go ahead and roll the damage on that. 22 points of damage on your first attack.
Okay. Second.
Second one, you have advantage because you are flanking with Soren, is 29. That does hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. Another 12.
Is it? There's Loomis. What was your roll on that, Loomis?
It looks like it was a 20, then a 4 and a 6 and a 2. If I hover over it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's 18, 19, 20. Gotcha. That's your criticals.
Okay.
Yeah, he got the green one was his first critical. So 18, 19, 20. So that would be a 20. 18 would be a 31 and then a 30.
Oh yeah, and then I have one more.
Yeah, then you have
Oh,
another
cool.
attack.
I have another attack.
24 is not going to be a critical, but you do 18 points of damage to it.
My
Okay.
goodness gracious. Well done, man.
Thank you.
All right.
He says, "All right, we got him,"
Does that end your turn?
and that ends my turn.
Next up are the bone swarms. So these bone swarms, yeah, they're within reach. The ones that are active, you see them now spinning around like a cloud with, varying degrees of success because some of them have had giant chunks sticking out of them. but they begin to spin with a funnel like pressure towards these other two piles. And the bones from those piles began to consolidate across towards the existing piles, adding to their structure. One might say healing them.
So what we're seeing is that
Bummer.
the piles we thought were dead have been drawn into the living piles or
Yes.
the animated piles.
Yes, they began
And
to
the
move.
animated piles are
and
stronger.
Cole began to think that they were moving towards one another to form into a new swarm. But what they were doing is getting ready to be consumed by the still active piles, which are now greater than they were before, almost as if they were healed.
Yeah, it's like you're really fighting 7. Kill 2, then they combine. Well, not really, but
Yeah, that's not. It's more accurate to say that they were healed, which is why I said almost like they were healed. All right, so that
if we kill these 2, then they're gonna combine.
let's see. So this one, what is this one? This one is going to swarm over Loomis. This one is going to swarm over Torka. So this one is going to attack Loomis, swirling around it in a deadly cloud. However, 14 does not hit Loomis's armor. Meanwhile, up by Torka, the other one attacks. 23 does hit you, Torka. For 40 bludgeoning damage. Yeah, these things do 5d8. It rolled 2 8s and 2 7s. And then a 1. All right, and that will end their turn. Next up is Torka. Torka, the thing that Cole was yelling at you, you now realize what they were actually doing was getting ready to add, combine piles, so effectively healing the active bone swarms. And that they weren't going to coalesce and join into a new swarm. But I will give you a freebie and say that you feel like if you had used your divine sense, you the magic of that act might have stopped that from happening. Good to know for in case it happens again.
So just using my sense.
Yes, just reaching out with your divine sense. You believe that that would have been enough divine magic to stop whatever was happening with those two, with those swarms.
Okay.
If only you had gone sooner in the round.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
I guess I'm going to attack the one that is on top of me. hell. No, I'm going to cast Dispel Evil and Good.
Dispel evil and good. Originating from beyond the material plane. For the duration, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. Alright, concentration.
A rare spell from Torka.
So
I like it.
attacking this thing, or if this thing attacks you, it's going to be a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. But later I can try and dismiss it.
Make a melee spell attack.
Okay. To
Nice.
drive the creature back to its home plane, these things, in fact, come from this plane. Just FYI, they are not extraplanar.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
If they aren't on their own home plane, undead are sent to the Shadowfell, and Fae are sent to the Feywild. However, they are of this plane. In fact, I had described earlier how it looked like they had been made out of the bones of these fresh corpses.
Oh, yeah. I get that. I just figured that the spirit that was haunting the bones might be from elsewhere.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Does that end your turn?
Uh,
You have used your action.
As a bonus action, I will ready my divine sense. That'll end my turn.
What's the
That's
trigger?
not a big-
When you ready an action, you have to give a trigger. Plus, the divine sense
Yeah.
doesn't actually work off of a bonus action. So it's I'm just mechanically saying I use my bonus action. It doesn't really work. But you can just say I'm getting ready to use my divine sense. Next round or what is the trigger? See, whenever you ready an action, you have to give a trigger, and then if it's your turn next time, if that trigger hasn't occurred, then you just use it and you lose that action.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, what he means is everyone gets an action, a bonus action, and a Chris head action.
What happened?
A Chris head action is not a real thing.
Oh,
Oh.
It may not count, but it's definitely a thing.
All right. Cole, you are up.
All right. Cole is going to move first. 5, 10, 15, 20 so far.
Oh, he's getting ready to hit Torque in the back again.
Yeah, thinking about it. And just
When did Cole start seeing Torque as a little bitch?
Luteska.
Wow.
Aged him.
okay. He is going to he's going to look over at Loomis and use his bonus action to inspire him by saying, "You know how to incapacitate a bone swarm? You have to find their funny bone." And then he's going to cast Hideous Laughter again on the swarm that's up by Torka.
All right. DC 19 Wisdom saving throw.
Whoa! Barely. I think that's how it failed last time too, by 1
It
point.
is affected. It is not knocked prone, but it is currently incapacitated.
Okay. And Loomis, if you want it, you have a D12 Bardic Inspiration, which you can add to almost anything to hit. Well, maybe not anything, but almost anything. And Cole will say to Torka, if you leave that one alone, you could walk away, but if you hit it, it might snap out of it. And then he'll move this way, 5, 10, and end his turn.
All right. Next up is the start of round 7. Soren Lawrenson, you are up.
Let's see. Soren will he will simply just quicken Firebolt and fire at the one next to Loomis, or on top of Loomis twice. And let's see. Get my character sheet back out here.
Well, you're using your cantrip twice. Remember, you have to do a spell and a cantrip on your turn. You can't do two spells, 2 cantrips. Is kind of pushing it.
Oh, okay. So don't do 2 cantrips, or
Yeah, I would do a cantrip and a spell.
and a spell. Okay.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
If you want to use your action for a cantrip, yeah, I'll allow that.
Cool. Thanks, man. All right, and move over to here.
I mean, if you want to do 2 cantrips in one turn, I'll allow that. I'll let you.
Yeah.
That's not that game
Thanks.
breaking.
All right. First
But just,
firebolt.
do it.
Yep.
19 hits for 16 points of fire damage.
Cool. And then second one.
25 hits for 22.
And then I will come down over 5, 10, 15, 20, and let's see, 25. And I will call out to Loomis again. Let's do this again, man. And that will be the end of my turn.
Next up is Loomis.
Okay, Loomis is laughing heartily. He says it's funny because you're making it laugh, and it's made of bones. Funny bone. I get it. And then he's... It's funny because they're made of bones. And then, okay, he's just chuckling away and feels very, very inspired, despite the tenuous
You get it.
circumstances.
You get it, my fighter.
Okay.
My fighter.
Oh no.
There's one.
20 does hit it for 18 points of damage.
Let me hit another one.
13 does not hit it.
Oh, does he have to move back to get
yeah.
advantage?
He is currently inside the swarm, not in a
Ah.
position to have flanking.
Okay. I'll just take that one. Alright, and then hit again.
24 hits. Minus 14.
32.
Yeah, I've already taken the damage off there, dude.
Oh, I'm just talking to myself from my notes.
Does that complete
That's
your turn?
Yes, he turns around and is giggling at Cole, and then it ends his turn.
All right. As you turn around and giggle at Cole, this bone swarm will attack you. Actually, let's see here. It's going to move over you and Cole.
Oh.
Taggart.
Oh.
And it gets a 28 to hit the both of you. 28 does, in fact, hit both of you.
Yeah.
You each take 39 bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
Cole, you need to make a DC 19 Constitution saving throw.
Do I get an attack of opportunity by any chance?
If you have a melee attack, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm a warcaster, so I can cast a spell or cast a cantrip or something. I think.
Okay. Yeah. Hang
Okay,
on. Hang on. Whoa.
Waiting.
We're gonna resolve this first.
Of course.
Okay. So, 39 points of damage to both Cole and Loomis. And Loomis,
Mark it.
I need a DC 19 Constitution
Oh, you
saving throw. Or Cole. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
you mean Cole?
Not Loomis. Cole. Yeah. Because Loomis is not focusing on a spell. All right. So you maintain concentration on your spell, Cole. All right, Soren.
Ooh.
Now you can use your reaction to try to do something.
Cool. I will cast. Wait, would I be able to cast Firebolt without disadvantage, or would I take? Would it be a disadvantage?
Hang on here. It would be a disadvantage. Well, it wouldn't
A
be.
disadvantage,
It
okay.
wouldn't be at. No, because when it moved away from you, it wouldn't have been in your melee range anymore. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you a break and say it would not be a disadvantage. It'll just be a normal roll.
Cool. Normal roll.
29 hits it for 34 fire damage.
Wow. Nice.
I forgot that Warcaster does that. It was a good one.
Yep.
Well,
I should have done it ages ago.
so what Warcaster does is when a hostile creature's movement provokes an opportunity attack from it, you can use your reaction to cast a spell at it rather than making an opportunity attack. Yeah, it's pretty good. In this case, he
That's
got
pretty
off
good.
his damaging cantrip, which is actually at his level, it's one of the more hurtful things he can do. Every time he hits with that firebolt cantrip, he does 4d10 damage. All right. So the other one up by Torka is currently incapacitated, but at the end of its turn, it can try to break out of Toss's hideous laughter. DC 19 Wisdom saving throw, and it is no longer affected. Good news, Cole. You are no longer concentrating, and you are free to concentrate on other things. All right. Next up is Torka Galu.
Well, as it is, I guess since it is not incapacitated any longer, I have to attack the one that is around me.
Yes.
I am, however, going to move 5. I'm going to move to here, just to get out of it.
All right.
And then I'm going to swing my viscous war pick.
23 hits it for 8 points of damage.
And I will swing again.
14 does not hit it.
All right. That will end my turn.
All right. Next up is Cole. How you feeling, Cole?
Yeah, a little bit down.
These things hit like dump trucks.
Yeah. And I moved too close. Feeling the mistakes. I'm gonna move out here. And I can afford to cast Hideous Laughter one more time, so I'm going to. It's boring, but it's worked
All
a
right.
few times.
It fails its saving throw.
Yay. If we could only fail it twice in a row this time. Okay. So I'm
What'd you say? If you said something
And-
that cut off, what were you saying?
I was just actually intending to cast it on the same one that I've been targeting with the Hideous Laughter.
You specifically said this one though.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Then I'm gonna call out and say to Loomis, "Hey, don't hit this one. It'll leave you alone. Maybe we should attack the other one."
Hang on, am I imagining
And-
that? Did he say this one up here? Because I thought he was talking about this one down here.
I can't add.
I might have communicated. I'm fine with that. I'll stick with.
Well,
What you
hang
heard.
on. I want to be
You want it, Torka?
fair to you. All right. We'll put it on the one up here by Torka.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so then I'm gonna call out to Torka and tell him, okay, I think that one's out for a bit again. Hopefully it'll stay that way. And then Cole is gonna use a bonus action to take a potion,
Okay.
which he is at the bottom of the literal barrel, so he's taking a regular potion of healing because he needs those 6 points. And then he'll end his turn.
All right. Next up, we're at the start of round 8. Soren Lawrenson, you are up.
All right. Taking careful aim, Soren will shoot at this one, and I will shoot off a couple more firebolts.
Well, hang on.
Yep.
You still have to go through the motions of explaining how you're doing 2 firebolts. You don't
Oh,
just
yeah,
get to say,
sorry,
"I'm
sorry.
doing 2 firebolts." You have to explain.
I'm doing 2 firebolts.
what
Yes,
it is
he's
that you're doing.
Quickening a firebolt.
Are you
so he
keeping
will be
track
able
of
to-
your sorcerer points?
Yes, I am.
Because you're
Actually, I
burning
was,
through them like you're burning through a fever.
Oh yeah. Luckily, at this level, I've got a shit ton of them.
All right.
But yes, I'm going to fire off the first firebolt.
All right. A
Oof.
12, a natural 1, is not enough to hit it.
Yep.
That's
And
an
then
automatic
fire off
miss.
this- Yep.
25, however, does hit it for 21 points of damage.
And that will end his turn.
All right. Next up is Loomis.
Okay. Loomis is gonna move this way. Can he see in that swarm? I mean,
Yeah.
okay. Does that give me advantage right there with Cole over there? Maybe
No.
not.
No, because you'd have to be 5 feet back.
attack 3 times.
Nice.
31 hits. 8 slashing damage. It only had 8 hit points left. So, Loomis, how do you kill that swarm?
Well, he swings his great axe very swiftly through the bone swarm and hits a couple of the big bones, and they ricochet off each other and fall to the ground.
All right.
Nice.
Very good.
And then, so I moved like 5, 10, 15, so I can start moving up that way. 5, 10, 15, another, and that'll end my turn.
All right. Next up is the bone swarm. Currently incapacitated, but does it manage to break free of the hideous laughter that is having dubious effect on it? It does not.
Woohoo!
Torka,
Nice.
you're up. Now,
Like a
Torka,
buttered cup.
this thing is incapacitated right now, and
Yep.
so it cannot take actions or reactions, but you attacking it is not at advantage. It's not unconscious. It's just incapacitated.
Okay.
It's a little confusing, but unconscious is a different
Mechanic.
a different condition. Yeah.
Okay. So Torka would have seen Loomis fell the other swarm and see the other swarm hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Torka is going to. Oh man. Torka's gonna move 5, 10, 15. Yeah. Torka's gonna move to here. And he's gonna ask his friends what we think we should do. Hey guys, what should we do? We don't need these bone piles combining into a super bone pile.
All right. Does that end your turn?
Yeah. Wait, I'm checking turn order here. Yeah, I mean, Torka is going to ready his divine sense in case, the trigger would be this dead pile moving towards the incapacitated pile.
Okay. All right. Does that
That ends my turn.
is that in your turn? Okay. All right. Next up is Cole.
Okay. Cole is going to move 5, 10, 15. Who's looking the worst of my friends? Can I know that without spending an action?
Just by looking around, I'm gonna say, let's see. I'm gonna say you can't see Loomis because of the trees that are in the way between you and Loomis. Between the two people that you can see, which is Torka and Soren, Soren looks the worst off.
I think Soren's attractive.
Soren has taken more damage.
Ah,
Ah. Interesting.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Soren, you're up next. Be
Uh,
thinking about what you want to do.
Will do.
All right. Cole is going to spread out.
So Stokel ran away.
Okay, I I have another action. I can't tell if this is lame or genius, but this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to ready an action to cast Hideous Laughter on this bone storm should it become capacitated again.
Aha.
And then
Capacity.
should it no longer be incapacitated, that's my trigger for casting Hideous Laughter, and I
Okay.
will end my turn.
All right. Next up, we're at the start of round 9. Soren, you're up. Loomis, you're after him. Be thinking about what you want to do.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll plant myself there. And I will fire off. Well, first I will quicken a firebolt. And so I can fire off 2. So, and I'm going to fire at the one that's still swarming near Cole and Torka. Let's see. First firebolt.
18 does hit it for 24 points of damage.
Cool. And then the second one.
Second one hits it for 30.
Cool. And that will be my turn.
Hang on just a second here.
30, so 54.
There we go. Okay. All right. That ends Soren's turn. Next up is Loomis.
Okay. Loomis 5, 10, 15. And he will attack.
That
3
is
times.
going to be difficult terrain. Moving through this
Okay.
heavy bush. It's a down tree, so you're moving through like the upper bough of a tree that's fallen over on
the
its
ground.
side. Yeah, so that's 5, 15, 25. Here would be 35. You would have to stop. Let me see. 5, 15, 25. You'd be able to, from there, you'd be able to go up here. But going through here would still be dense trees.
Okay.
But that would give you 30 feet of movement. That would be as far as you could go.
Okay. And he will start attacking.
All right.
Great axe.
That's a crit. Good grief. 26 points of damage.
Okay. Another one.
28 hits, not enough for you to have a improved critical. Another 8 points of damage. $27 hits for another 8 points of damage. Oh man, that sucks. You roll back-to-back 2s for damage.
Sure does.
Oof. All right, does that end your turn?
It does.
Next up is the Bone Swarm. Now, the Bone Swarm is currently incapacitated. However, that does not mean that it cannot move. All it means is that it has no actions or reactions. So it chooses to come down here and swarm over Loomis menacingly. But it can't actually do anything right now. So at the end of its turn, does it manage to break out of this hideous laughter that would otherwise be causing it to not act itself? It does not. Loomis, from inside this bone swarm, you see the skulls inside are chattering as if in some sort of mocking undead laughter.
Okay.
All right. Next up is Torka Galu. Torka Galu, king of the wild frontier.
Torquegalu.
Killed him a bear when he was only 3.
Well, I guess Torka's just gonna swing away. As Loomis
away,
is
Torka.
inside the bone swarm, Torka can't hurt Loomis, can he?
No.
Okay. So, war pick.
20 does hit it for 12 points of damage.
I don't even know if I have any spell slots left. I do, so I guess I'll pump a smite into this sucker. But it is a 3rd level smite for 14 radiant plus a d8.
Remember to mark those spell slots off.
Oh yeah, I did. And next war pick.
20 hits for another 15 points of radiant damage and piercing.
Incapacitated, right?
It is currently incapacitated.
Actually, it's supposed to get 2 rolls at advantage to break it. Each time it takes advantage, each time it takes damage, it gets
Oh!
it's a new wisdom save at advantage.
At advantage. Thank you, Torka. So I'll take those 2. 22. All right. Well, that would be advantage, but I already made it, so I can't make it harder. So, yeah, it's going to take... It is no longer incapacitated. Thank you, Torka. I have seen the light.
I feel like everyone else hit it before me, though.
Loomis and Soren both hit it before you, but it was only
Really?
on your turn that Cole
I
remembered.
started paying attention. I'm sorry.
But I'm the asshole.
Although-
Okay.
I like how Jonathan just admits he had his head up his ass.
I did. However, that does trigger Cole's ready to action.
Nice.
All right. And yeah, you can go ahead and mark the spell slot off. You're not concentrating on
Yeah.
anything. It made the save. It was ready for you. It read your book.
All right. Seen it, huh?
All right. Torka, does that end your turn?
I think Torka's actually going to move to here.
Okay.
And
As
that'll
you
end-
as you move away from it, it will attempt to attack you. It's looking for a 22. Gets a 23. Torka, you take 28 bludgeoning as you move away from it.
Got it.
All right. And thanks to Cole's helpful reminder, it had a reaction to do that with. All right. Next up is Cole.
Oh, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, you are.
Way to go.
Okay. Cole. Not concentrating anymore. And not having any more hideous laughters.
Oh no.
Is just going to step into the fray and cast Polymorph to turn himself into a giant ape.
All right.
Great, babe.
I think you should be able to drag it onto the board.
Okay, I'll give that a shot. I can, but it
Oh,
doesn't
hang
have the
on.
right icon.
Hang on. Let me look here. Yeah, they updated a lot of stuff, and it kind of tore everything
It lost them
that we'd
all.
set up. Yeah. All right, hang on here. All right, let me look at that stat block. Oh, that's a huge beast.
Ingle.
157. Armor class of 12. Movement of 40. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna move myself out of the way.
All right. Very good. Does that end your turn?
I guess that is my action, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep, that ends my turn.
All right.
I'm gonna beat my chest.
We're at the start now of round 10. Soren, you're up.
Oh, Soren will he will go ahead and just cast a single firebolt and convert one of his 4th level spells into sorcery points.
All right.
Let's see. So that firebolt fires off.
That hits for 21 points of damage.
And I will that will be the end of my turn.
All right, Loomis. It is your turn, and you start to see what happened earlier. Like this thing is kind of making a funnel, kind of pointed off in this
There.
direction.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I mean, is it just how many bones is the bone swarm? Can I like swat them the other way, or is it too many? Or
I mean, you can attack it like it's a damn target.
I mean, I'm gonna do that.
I mean,
I guess that first priority
it's a swarm of creatures, and it has a set amount of hit points. At this
Okay,
point,
all right.
the swarm has been whittled down. You guys have been doing a lot of damage to it, but it is still active. All right.
Okay.
18 hits it. Go ahead and roll your damage. 16 is enough to kill the swarm.
Ah, sweet.
Nice.
Ooh.
I managed to bat one of those laughing skulls off like it's a baseball.
Do we drop out of initiative?
We do not.
Damn.
Loomis, is that in your turn?
I'm gonna move over here by Orca, and then yeah, that'll end my turn.
All right. Next up are the bone swarms, which do begin to move towards one another. Torco,
Mm-hmm.
you had ready in action.
Yes, I had. I will use my divine sense.
So as these things begin to arc over your head towards one another, making a bridge of bones in the middle of the air, you close your eyes and reach out with your divine sense, asking Morden to guide you
Clearly.
with your power. And as you do, both of these bone swarms begin to shake, and then they fall apart. No longer animated. They fall apart down to the forest floor. Now we are out of initiative.
Oof.
Woohoo!
Cole, you got
Torka's
big and
gonna-
bad for nothing.
Oh yeah. Well, I can still concentrate for a bit longer.
That's true.
Torka's gonna say some prayers.
All right, give me a
I go
religion.
to-
Torque, give me a
Oh,
religion check.
sorry.
Yeah, Torka will roll a 4.
I know, Chris said you want to search for the copper in the tea.
Oh,
We'll get around to it in a
Torka
second.
crit's religion.
All right. Well, it's not a crit. It's a skill check, so there's no crit. But you rolled a natural
No,
20.
give me that.
So we
give me
do
that.
we do reward the natural 20. Torka, whereas you felt that Moradin looked unfavorably on your actions earlier when you executed this guy down here who was being affected by hideous laughter and was otherwise incapacitated, Moradin, you get the sense, feels a little bit better about how you're representing him on the material plane as you pray for these lost souls.
Okay.
All right, Soren, what were you gonna? You wanted to check for copper teeth?
I just want to inspect the bones but yeah, I want to see if I can identify what these bones are.
So give me a medicine check.
Right, there we go. Not so good.
So they're clearly humanoid bones, mixed with some form of draconic bones. I'm not sure if you're one of the people I told earlier that you had noticed these things had the bones ripped out of them. I don't remember who all got
Yes, I
that
did.
knowledge last. Okay,
I did. Yeah, I did see that.
okay,
Yeah.
then you would think you're not for sure because you kind of have your head up your ass, but you would think that these piles of bones probably came from those dead soldiers and the dead Wyverns.
Gotcha. There
But
we go.
but you would also think that these bone swarms may have already existed and just sort of came around and got the more bones that they needed to make themselves more powerful.
Cool.
You find one guy.
Well,
Well,
I would talk freely about that amongst ourselves right now.
You find one
I would-
one silver tooth inside a skull that's worth 3 copper.
I'll leave it.
You guys watch as
What?
Chris Head leaves copper on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone rolled
that's
for a
like
heart
silverware.
attack. But no,
That's
I
what-
mean, I'm talking about this stuff openly. That, clearly these bones came from the corpses of those that we just fought. But something had to have animated them. What kind of magic is this? What kind of horrific creature could do that?
No, I think it definitely has something to do with Shaldor. Or
I don't know. I mean,
he sent these things after us, and sent those men after us.
maybe it has something to do with Shaldor, but they couldn't be banished anywhere else.
Anyone who would like to
didn't-
make an Arcana check or a religion check right now?
I will. Let's see.
Apes don't know nothing about that stuff.
All
And
right.
as I'm talking to,
So Soren,
Yes.
as you're saying it out loud, as you're pondering it yourself, You start to think that with Shaldor being around and with the Order Esoterica still being active in the area, and you know that they've been amassing magic this whole time, that sort of concentrated power in the area may be acting like a regenerative field that could possibly generate undead.
I explained that to all my comrades.
Clearly, that makes sense.
Ugh.
Alrighty, and
Well,
with that,
on to Crossington.
all right, and with that, yeah, if you guys want to try to, it's getting kind of late in the evening. It's about probably about 5:30 or so. You still got, now that you don't have a coach anymore or horses to pull that coach, you've got about probably about a 4-hour walk, 4.5-hour walk ahead of you to try to get to Crossington. But you think you
I
might
thought
be
we
able to make
woke
it.
up early in the morning to these bones.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. Yeah, you guys did. You had you took a rest in
We slept in a
Liaming's
tiny
tiny hut. Yeah. So yeah, it's about we'll say it's closer to 9 o'clock in the morning. I think that's fair.
Okay.
As compared to when you woke up. You have done quite a bit of fighting today. So yeah, you would think that you would make it there around noon, maybe a little after, up to Crossington. Maybe even faster if Cole wanted to carry everybody and just kind of giant ape his way,
For
grape ape his way
Right
up
on his
along the
back.
road through the forest.
if I can carry everybody, yeah, I will for the first hour though.
Yeah, it's only going to last an hour, but I mean, you've got a strength of 23. You might as well use it. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
how do you do that? Do you like pick your friends up and put them under your arm, or
I'll
do you let them board
no.
you or mount you?
I'll lean forward and pat my own back, like waiting for them, beckoning them to get aboard.
All right, I'll climb aboard.
I will as
Two
well.
will climb aboard.
All right, everybody climbs aboard the Coal Express. Hang on here.
It's so funny is that even in ape form, that coal still smells like patchouli.
And you guys bound down the road on King Coal. For an hour's worth of riding on King Coal, it takes a couple of hours away off your trip, and you wound up getting to Crossington by about 11:30. Let's see here.
Nice.
Where is
All right.
Time for lunch.
There's nothing
for
better
lunch.
than traveling King Cole style.
The Crossington.
All right. And we will pick up there next week as you continue to try to make your way up towards Rowville Manor.
Nice.
All right. Say goodbye to everybody in chat.
Bye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye,
everyone.
everybody watching this on YouTube. And
Goodbye, everybody watching us on YouTube.
we will see you in a week.
All right. Night, night, folks.
All right.